What's going on, everybody? We're gonna move along here. We're going into the other side garage, which is cold as shit today. Bear with me. Now I left you off with putting the motor together, I believe. In the meantime, I was still working on that engine bay. Yep, smoothing that thing sucked. I probably have 75 to 100 hours in there, I'm gonna guess. But what I did last night is, didn't want to bore you guys with this because I've already made a couple videos on it. I primed the whole engine bay. There you go. She's all primed. You can see I just got the camber plates back on and the struts in, but I still got to bolt the whole subframe up. But the engine bay turned out really nice. It did come out very nice. I mean, there's a couple of spots where it ain't perfect, but I don't care all that much. You know, once everything's in, once everything's painted, it's gonna look great. What we gotta do is, I mean, I could have really fixed those spot welds there. Screw it. But it came out really nice. Everything looks really smooth. The primer looks great on it. I have to do is I got to bolt the subframe back because the temperature is just plummeting today. It was fine last night with my propane heater on. I got it at like 65, 70 degrees in here and it was okay to paint. And everything laid out smooth, no issues, no problem drying. I left the heater on for like 4 or 5 hours after I was done. And it's good, it's nice and solid. I got to sand it. You can hear it. I got to wet sand everything, get it smooth and ready for paint. What we're going to do first is we're going to mock up the engine in here. Yeah, I know, it's kind of silly. I kind of did this a little backwards. But I'm going to tape off some of the tubes. I'm going to get the engine and tranny in the car and make sure everything's right. I'm going to get the turbo on. I'm going to get the turbo kit on. I got to make some mounts for the intercooler, and I got to make a mount for my downpipe over there. So it's going to be, you know, I'm going to have to weld to this bar, weld to that bar, and weld to that bar. And what I'll do afterwards is just touch up those 3 little spots. I should have done this, but it's been humid as hell for the past week with all the rain, that I didn't want to leave the body filler open that long. So I was like, you know what, screw it. If I nick up these tubes a little bit, no big deal. Sand it, prime it, done, good to go. Especially this front one, it's unboltable. The front one and the bottom one, they're unboltable. I can take them off and paint them. So I'm going to get the subframe back in here. We got to get this into the other side of the garage where it's warmer. It's like 55 over there without heat. But once I fire the propane heater up, it gets 75, 80, depending on how high I put the heater. So we got to bolt the subframe back into this and get it pushed into the other side. We're going to get it up on stands this time on the wood blocks, if you remember those, the cribbing. And we're gonna get everything in. So we got the car pushed over to the other side. I got it up on cribs. You see some masked off and some, just so I don't scratch the primer. I told you, I did this backwards. So I got that like that. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna stick the motor and tranny back in the car. I gotta make my downpipe, and I gotta weld tabs for the intercooler. So onto these bars, and then once those are welded, I could reprime those couple of spots, and this thing can go to paint. Oh, I want to build a new catch can too. So I need that kind of mocked up in here so I can weld a tab or two for that. I wasn't going to stick the motor in, but I'm going to put the tranny in so everything's resting the way it should be. I got the tranny right here. The only thing I got to do is I have to put a new front pump seal in it. It was leaking previously, which doesn't surprise me because every damn seal on this transmission has leaked at one point or another. I'm actually going to pull this rear tail shaft off again. So I put a gasket in there, but I'm just going to silicone it on now. It's starting to leak again. Like I said, I got to do this front pump seal. I have a front and rear. It came with a kit, but the rear's fine. It wasn't leaking. And you know, if that leaks later on, so be it. That one's not too bad to do. But got to replace this front one. As you can see, the motor's in. A little bit of a pain in the ass doing that by yourself. What I failed to remember was I moved that lower support bar forward 4 inches. So that made it a little bit difficult to get in and out. And I think I accidentally tack welded the tube in over there because I couldn't pound it out. When I got this side, I was able to break it free and I heard like a clack. So I think something happened there. But I'm going to get that out now and make sure everything's good so it can come out in the future for easier engine removal. But it's in. Looks good. It's going to be... can't wait for it to be painted because it's going to be really nice when it's painted. Look really good. So what we got to do is we'll put the intake manifold on it. I got to get the turbo kit bolted to it. I got to get the turbo on, this lower bar on, and that other front bumper bar on. So then start figuring it out, start thinking about it, and start making mounts. So let me get that all taken care of. Turbo in, got the turbo kit bolted on, got the engine, everything's in its place. For some reason the turbo kit didn't want to fit quite right. I had to loosen everything up, shake it, move it, fangle it, move everything. But I got it in there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the intercooler mocked up into place. And one of the things we got to do that, obviously you see there's no end tanks. I don't even know if I talked about this intercooler. I decided to go air to air back in the car just for ease of maintenance. Air to water works great. Like unbelievably good, great. But I got a 6-gallon tank with a pump in it. I got 20 feet of line with all these fittings. I got an intercooler. Just the intercooler full is like 50 pounds. 6 gallons of water in the tank, whatever, the lines are full. Plus you gotta have electronics. I don't want to deal with it. You gotta bring a cooler, you gotta buy ice, blah blah. We'll see how well this does. I was going to do the meth injection in the volute, but I decided against that as well. So we're going to build our own intercooler. This is a 1300 horsepower core from Ace Race Parts, 6 inches thick, 18 inches long, 12 inches high. It seems like a good quality core. Now that I got a Dominator, I'm going to put a pressure sensor on this side, and I'll have the map on the other side, so I'll be able to see how much pressure I'm losing and how efficient this thing is. So I'm going to put a pressure, probably a temp sensor. I don't know. it might be too hot for a temp sensor. But we'll see. So anyways, I got a blind standoff right here that's centered left to right, but it's down a little bit. And we're going to get this welded onto here. And then I can start to make a mount on the front bumper bar. Okay, I welded that tab on the bottom of the intercooler before I had a plan. My plan was originally to lay this intercooler flat, like this, horizontal to the ground. And what I was going to do was I was going to build an air dam to blow the air up into the intercooler. Well, after getting everything mocked up on the car, fenders and bumper, I'm saying, it just wasn't going to work. I'm kind of disappointed. If my downpipe was going the same way as it was with the previous setup, it worked fine. But the downpipe's going to come out over here. So I lost that amount of room. I mean, it can work, but then the downpipe's like an inch away from the intercooler, and heat up the intercooler with the exhaust, it's not going to do anything. So I had to scrap that plans, and now what's happening is the intercooler sitting vertical. You can see the intercooler right there. It's pretty big. I started to build an end tank for it out of cardboard that I'm going to make with a 4-inch exit. I don't know how I'm going to do that side yet because it's mighty close to the flange here of the turbo. So that's going to be, it's going to be some fuckery. But this is what I'm working with now. I was going to start the inner, I think I'm going to do a 4-inch out. I'm going to do a 4-inch out. And I think what's going to happen is it's going to have to come through here. Come through here and then down to the intercooler right there. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm going to weld a flange. Which now that I'm looking at it, I might be able to come to the inside of the frame rail. Weld the flange, that might be too close. I was going to weld a flange right here. 2-16 bulkhead fittings for these. For the radiator outlet, so they can just disconnect right there and be done. I don't know yet what I'm going to do with that. I wanted to build a catch can to sit in here somewhere. A new catch can. It might end up going in that area. I got to build the downpipe and the intercooler pipe and get that flange before I attempt it. Because that's just so nice being empty back there now. I loved the one I have back there. But I'm looking for something different. I'm looking for something cleaner on the engine bay. Let me pop this bumper off and show you. I just have this held on with some vice grips. Show neck. Anybody asks, it's a show neck front bumper. It's either I think it's a 9-inch balance. And it's one sturdy, strong, light piece. I love it. Well, I started making one end tank here. This is a 4-inch tube sticking out, and it's just, you know, chilling in there, obviously. Try to figure out what's going on, how I'm going to do this. Because I can figure out, you know, if I want this thing to stick way far in, it's probably going to be like that. But all it is cardboard. You know, I started making a design. I don't have anything to bend this nice and get nice rounded edges, so it's all going to be well. This is the first intercooler I've ever built. And if you're going to tackle this, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of metal, it's a lot of welding, and that intercooler, man, takes some heat to weld. But what I thought, you know, which I think is a good idea, is if you can see, I have this, I leave an 1/8 inch of cooler sticking out. It's kind of hard to see. And what that's going to do, that's going to give me a weld. A really good weld seam there to oof, got lucky. I dropped the camera and the screen just went blank. I thought I broke my camera. That would suck. I don't got money for that thing right now. So anyway, that 1/8 inch, it's going to give you a really nice weld seam to get a good heat penetrated weld. I have a friend who's going to cut all my metal for me. He works at a machine shop, or I guess you would call it a machine shop, I don't know. But I'm going to bring him these 2 end tanks after I'm done making them. And he's going to cut them all out for me, and I'm going to weld them. And I'm going to fully weld them on the outside, and I'm probably going to stitch weld them on the inside. I might fully weld them on the inside. This is actually like the first thing I'm actually nervous on breaking, welding, because it might break. You know, I've seen a lot of cracked intercoolers from improper welding. So we're gonna get some heat in that and get that thing welded up. I got to figure out an end tank for here, and how I'm going to get this into here. I don't know if I should come out. I don't even know if there's room to come out and loop back in. I don't know. I can't go above here. I can't go back here because that's where the downpipe's going to be. I got this thing as far left over as it can be because of the bumper hitch right here. I don't know. It's going to be a really shitty pipe tube to make. That's all I do know. That's not a bad idea. You know, nothing that says I can't angle this end tank like this, and I could just 90 it right in. I just come out straight, boom. Tops, bottoms, done. Right? Right? That should work. I don't see why it wouldn't. Quickly do that all together, and I don't know if you can see. Oh, now you can. That's angled, and I'll pike up in, and I'll just V-band it right there. All right. I guess I'll assume I'm gonna post some pictures online and ask people who are way smarter than me when it comes to building stuff like this. Cool thing with that is I can actually bend that whole tank in one piece. Whether that's going to happen or not, I don't know. I'll have to talk to my buddy to see if he has that capabilities of bending that whole thing. Make it much stronger if I only had to weld the top and bottom, weld it to the core. I think that's where we're going to end this video. I really don't have any material. I'm waiting for, like I said before, I'm waiting for some tube to come in. I want to get the downpipe. The first thing that's got to get made is the downpipe. And I can weld, I got to figure out a mount for that side to hold it, to stabilize it, rubber mount or whatever. And I'll have to figure that all out. I'm trying to use up as much as I can of my old downpipe. So, you see the pieces over there. I already started cutting apart, but waste not, want not. Stainless, 4-inch stainless is far from cheap. That's why once I get, it's gonna loop around like this. Once I get down to here, it's going aluminum the rest of the way. So I'm actually gonna save weight with this downpipe because it's gonna have half the amount, not half, maybe 2/3 of the amount of stainless it did before. So we'll cut a couple pounds out of that, and then the rest will be aluminum. If not half. It might be half. But stainless is heavy, especially in 4-inch. I'm hoping to have cut 200 pounds out of this car. If I can get this thing to under 3,000 or under with my fat ass in it, I'll be okay. I'll be happy. We'll see. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we will see. Well, guys, you know, it's my motto. Get out in the garage, grab a cold drink, get your tools, start working on your hot rods. Spring is coming. Hot Rod Magazine Drag Week 2020 registration is this Saturday, noon. I am going to try to enter. I'm going to try to get a spot and register. Fingers crossed. Last year it sold out in 5 minutes. So we're going to try to get in and register for that so we can do Hot Rod Drag Week in September. And I do believe it's like Michigan, Indy, Ohio, Illinois. It's like a whole thing over there. And the plan is to go out. Hot Rod Drag Week starts on Sunday. Is tech, test and tune, and the actual event starts Monday. I'm going to try to go out Friday and go see my peoples at Team Z Saturday. I've obviously never been there. I've never met any of them in person, and I'm kind of amped. I want to go out there and check everything out. I'll do a video about that if this all comes to fruition. And we will have a whole Drag Week series. I'll probably do it individual days. There probably won't be much editing. Probably what I film through the day, I'll just collapse it real quick and get it up. Hopefully. We'll see. We'll see how it all goes. We're registering for Drag Week's one mission, getting this thing up, running, driving, running 850s because I can't go any faster than that. So I can run in Super Street, small block, power adder. We'll see. Have a great night, guys.